Are you ready to rock? You guys ready to rock? Remote fist bump. Hi guys, my name is Tom Johnson. I am an ethical hacker and social engineer, and I have jumped into this challenge headfirst and took on everything I could possibly take on. Every opportunity I've been given, I've done, and I've managed to get a little bit of a name for myself in the industry now. The thing I'm most proud of is a talk that I done, and I got awarded an honour coin by the FBI and the National Crime Agency. And it was pertaining to this very subject, which is social engineering, hacking the human firewall. So does anybody know what I mean by that?
Getting past stupid people.
Yeah, some people are stupid, some people aren't stupid. And it depends on the day that they're having. But yes, it's getting past people by misusing psychology, basically. Can anyone give me an example of a social engineer? Anyone know any social engineers? From the media or online or anything like that?
Frank Abagnale.
Frank Abagnale. Have you seen Catch Me If You Can with Leonardo DiCaprio, the film? That was based upon Frank Abagnale, who was a social engineer, very young, and he was really, really clever at what he'd done. He managed to teach his entire class as the teacher for a full semester, and even tried to take them out on a field trip as well, because he was so believable at what he'd done. And he ended up being the FBI's most wanted, and he was tracked all over America, and he was jumping on aeroplanes as a co-pilot, not flying anything but travelling from one place to another and living off the checks of the airlines. So that's me. I'm a bit eccentric. I'm building a Raspberry Pi powered cocktail vending machine that uses Mindwave mobile headset, and if you can get your concentration levels to the certain amount, it will pour you a free cocktail. I love people and use money as opposed to the other way around, and that's probably why I'm skint all the time. Social engineering can be seen as the good old-fashioned con, the con man. Everyone's heard of a scam, yeah? Anyone been caught with a scam? I have. So chances are you have been scammed. They were just so good you didn't know you'd been scammed.
I had someone try and scam us this morning on the way here, actually.
Did you? Wrong person to try and scam.
Cold call.
Alright, yeah. Well, this guy here, Christopher Hadnagy, anyone heard of him? He's absolutely legendary. He pretty much he did write the books on social engineering. He's an author, and he's absolutely amazing. He's top of his game. Anyone heard of DEF CON in America? The big cybersecurity convention? Well, he runs the social engineering village there. So he's top of his game. Believe it or not, he added me on LinkedIn. My claim to fame, I thought it was one of the lads winding me up. It was the man himself. So I've been talking to him now for about a year. Really nice guy, very busy though. So the art of human hacking is taking human psychology and misusing it to get somebody to do something or say something that they shouldn't do or say. So if you've got the most secure system in the world and you've got 500 staff working for you, if I can trick one of those, how you put it, stupid people into giving me their credentials, chances are I can cause you some damage. Oh, you agreed there? Yeah? The insider threat is a real threat in workplaces, and if you can leverage an insider, get some dirt on them, manipulate them into doing something for you, then the chances are you can own that company pretty easily. We'll just go through a few stats. 88% of hackers, according to the Newix report, the Black Report by Newix, ethical hackers use social engineering in some of their pen tests. 50% of them use them in every single pen test. It works, absolutely, it works. There's a high percentage that it's going to work. So we've got different types of social engineering techniques. Anyone heard of phishing? You should all have heard of phishing. Phishing emails. Anyone heard of vishing with a V? Anyone know what it is?
Is it the targeted phishing?
No. Vishing is voice, so it's telephone calls. Anyone heard of spear phishing, apart from Jack? Spear phishing is the targeted emails. So you may choose an individual in an organisation or a group of individuals in an organisation, but it's not the whole organisation as a blanket. Yeah. The American election meddling was all based upon a spear phishing campaign. Yeah, and that's how they got Hillary Clinton's emails, through spear phishing. If nation state can fall for it, anybody can fall for it. Now, I'm going to ask you very quickly, why do you think a lot, not all, a lot of phishing emails are spelt wrong? If you fall for a poorly constructed email, you're going to fall for the con. So they use the poorly constructed, misspelled email as a filter to filter out smart people. And they're going for the weakest, most vulnerable people in society. You send 900 million emails, what's the chances you're going to get 2 or 3 that come back that you've fallen for a bad email? Probably quite high. And then that's when they go on to the vision and speak to you and try and persuade you to do things. We've talked about vision, we've talked about phishing. We're going to, does anyone know what smishing is? And I'm not making it up.
Sounds like you are.
I'm not. Think about it, smishing.
Is it not like SMS?
Yeah.
SMS, 10 out of 10. Remote fist bump. And then you have social media scamming, which is things like post your first car's name and your first pet's name and it's your porno name. Well, of course, first car and first pet are security questions on Facebook. So this was a paid job that requested me to test the human firewall of this big organisation. The big organisation employed 450 staff and it was a huge multi-million pound company. Yeah? And I was basically given black box, basically told that they weren't going to help me. I had to try like a real attacker to breach their company in some way using exploitation of the human firewall. So who are their human firewall? Who do you think the human firewall would be?
Staff.
Staff? What type of staff?
Security.
Security? Anything else? Anyone else?
Lowest third.
The ones on the door. They're going to be the primary staff that you want to try and manipulate because you want to get into the building. Does that make sense? So I'd done an OSINT operation, exfiltrated loads of information pertaining to this company. The first protocol was seeing if I could work out who done what in the company, who they were talking to, exfiltrate as many emails as I could, and then I tested those emails on haveibeenpwned.com to see if they had been involved in a data breach. Why did I do that?
Passwords.
Passwords. If I was a black hat, I could download those data breaches, look at the passwords, and human psychology states that most people share passwords between accounts. So if I've got a password, it's either going to be very similar or the same for other accounts. Not always, but most of the time. Does anybody share passwords between accounts here? Yeah, everybody's pretty much guilty of it. Because we don't have different passwords for every single account because...
Can't remember.
Exactly, it's hard to remember. So there's a technique called mnemonic password generation which we can use to remember them, but I'll talk about that later. So I exfiltrated 150 odd emails. I checked it against data breaches. 70 odd % of them were breached. One of them was breached 17 times. Can you believe it? 17 breaches. So I then wanted to find out if I could download the data breaches. Not that I would, because how long do you get in prison for downloading a data breach? 10 years. Yeah. But I wanted to see if I could find them. And I did. I found about 15 different data breaches. So this is some of the stuff that we were going to use on site. That's a camera in a hat. It's very hard to see. That's a little cheapy listening device off the internet. Kid's toy, but it's really handy to listen through walls. Wi-Fi cameras, remote listening bugs. We bought this. What was this for? Our what?
Disguise.
Our frame. Yeah, disguise our frame. And the first pretext, the first con was Matt was dressed up as a YMCA member. Hiya, today we are going to try and do a recce on site. So Matt is dressed up as one of the YMCA. No, I'm joking. Sorry, I couldn't resist it. With a builder's hat on, with a high vis on. And what did you do, Matt?
I just looked amazing. I went for a wander around, made myself known to them, and just said to basically expect me around, so they didn't suspect anything other than what a builder would do.
Yeah, well, we're going to be working on site next week. If you see anyone in high-vis, don't panic, it's just the sewage. Matt is going to enter the building and try a very basic pretext.
Yeah, I'm going to pop into reception after I've done a round of the building and hopefully explain that I'm going to be working across the road from the building, and to explain that I'm not sure whether the building will be involved, but to expect to see me around in the near future, and we'll see how that goes.
Why did we do that?
So they don't call the police.
Well, the police were already in on it because we have to notify the police by law. So the control room knew that there was going to be a social engineering attack, as did higher level management. So police was not a concern. We'd done it. Have you heard of Chinese whispers? When you say something to someone and it changes slightly, but the message gets disseminated around because of people talking. So we wanted to plant this little seed in the head that we would be on site. So if anyone saw anything, don't worry about it, it's normal. That was to allow us to assess the physical layout of the place, any of the CCTV cameras, any security places, where the building's situated, how many doors into the building, did they have anything in the rubbish bins, because you check rubbish bins in case they've dumped valuable information in the rubbish bins. What did you find, Matt?
Banana skins, bit of garbage. There wasn't anything untoward in there, so it was just canteen rubbish, I think.
Yeah, so they passed the test on that one. So I went online and I prioritised 5 people through conversation. I based it upon a number of different things. For example, how chatty a person was, how willing they were to help somebody, based spear phishing emails around their interests. And I managed to get one person in particular who I thought was really valuable. And the poor lass, I absolutely exploited her terribly. Yeah? And I arranged a meeting with her. I can't tell you what the meeting was about because it'll give away the name of the company, but it was about something that didn't exist. So I went into the canteen, which was a non-inner sanctum bit, and had a chat with her. This is the visitor's card. What do you notice about the visitor's card immediately?
Just the
Bit of
printed
white
piece of
paper.
paper.
Bit of white paper. Would it be difficult for me to take a photograph of that in the toilet on my phone and mock one up?
No.
What about the lanyard?
Just says visitor.
Buy them on eBay, the generic lanyards. So I did do that exact thing. I went to the toilet, I knocked up a visitor's badge. So this is me in the building, and after this I'll show you how I got into the building. I'm in the main building. Now listen up. Now I have had to blur some bits out, unfortunately, but I'll talk you through it. So, no sticky on marble either, it was proper marble, that toilet, it was beautiful. So I went out of there and into the main office, which held 400 staff, open planned. On the left there was meeting rooms. I did plant a device in one of those meeting rooms, but I didn't use it. On the left here you will see some pink hearts on the wall. That was messages from one team to another thanking them for the work. They were encouraging them thanking each other, but unfortunately it's a bad idea because the social engineer can get to work out who people are. What am I doing here?
Toilet?
No, I'm making myself a cup of coffee in their open planned tea station. Bearing in mind there was no walls, it was open planned. So I sat there for 3.5 hours drinking cups of coffee, filming meetings on the phone. Nobody questioned me. Nobody. So what do you do when you're bored? Mess around. So I started taking selfies. Yeah, that said thank you from and then the company name, which got a few laughs in the management meeting. And that there is the door I tailgated into 11 times. I then left me gear inside, locked myself out purposely, and that woman got off her phone and off her chair to purposely let me into that secure building. Yeah? Why do you think?
Photocopy your bum, did you?
No, I didn't. But the reason I've got this here is because I started getting bored again. So I said, "Hi, it's Tom from the photocopying company. How you doing? It's my first day on the job. I'm a little bit nervous, but I've been sent as a courtesy call because I've been told your photocopy has been a bit naughty lately. Is it all right?" Now, one of the videos that I done earlier on the university one, but it wasn't on this one. I forced a member of staff to walk into my intimate space. Now, what is she going to do? Is she going to do it?
You forced her into it.
I stood in front of her where she would have to walk into my intimate space to get past me. Is she going to walk into my intimate space, or is she going to stop and deal with me? Stop and deal with me, because she doesn't want to mate with me and she doesn't want to attack me. So subconsciously she'll stop. I also showed her the palm of my hand. I didn't say stop, I just showed her the palm of my hand, and that's also a subconscious cue to stop. Yeah, so it forced her to deal with me. So all these little mind hacks and tweaks and things like that can be used, excuse me, can be used to the social engineer's advantage. Now, how do we defend against social engineering?
Education.
Spot on, education. Anything else?
Training.
I would say
That's it,
it's
that's
impossible
education.
to do to the nth degree.
Why?
Because it's subconscious processing, which is embedded in us as humans.
Everybody put your hands up. Put your hand up. Come on, Jack. Put your hands up. Like that. Put your hand up. I need you to put your hand up as part of this. Now you're processing to see if I'm doing it. I'm not. It's an exercise. If you don't want to take part, you don't have to. Right. If your password starts with a capital letter, pick a password, put your hands down. Why does your password start with a capital letter?
Because most words on their own start with a capital letter.
Because we taught as children to capitalise the first letter of a sentence. Yeah? So we remember it at the beginning. Put your hands down if your password ends with a number. Yeah, so it does. Why do we end it with a number?
It's the way we taught us.
Because it's an afterthought. Yeah? Oh, we've got to put a number on it. Let's stick it at the end. It's easier to remember. If it's constructed of English words, put your hands down. English words, you can put your hand down now, is normally used if you're in England, obviously, or in English-speaking countries, to create your passwords. Why is that weak?
It's not weak, but it is
weak.
It's
Dictionary.
known.
Dictionary attack. Yeah? So we can use multiple dictionaries and do what you call combinator attacks. We combine dictionary words together. We can use...
I mean, you've just showed us your password, mate. Like, really?
So there's other ways of doing it. There's technical mitigations like facial recognition systems. They're starting to become a little bit more robust now with artificial neural networks. I wrote one. It was quite good. It was about 95% accurate on one photo. But obviously there is technical solutions out there which are way more accurate than that. But education is your best bet.